artist's reenactment of what was happening in my mind. This is Bryant Gumbel versus Derek Jeter as I read it.
You'd never tell your players that you expect to lose. You don't do that. You should take that as a slap in the face as a player. You should take that as a slap in the face.
You expect them to contend?
I do. If I don't believe with the players, who's going to believe in them if I don't?
But as an executive, it looks like you're delusional if you'll believe otherwise.
Well, call me delusional then.
Bryant Gumbel with us on ESPN Radio. Thank you for joining us. What lured you to this?
Guys, how you doing?
Excellent, thank you. What lured you to this story?
I guess it's kind of a natural fit. I mean, I'm not sure there are bigger names baseball has produced over the last 20 years, and he's changed jobs, and he doesn't do a lot of interviews. And we kind of had the ask out there for a while. Nisreen Habal from our staff has been asking him for some time, and why he said yes, I'm not sure. I guess he'd be the better one to ask.
So how did you feel the interview went? It airs tonight, again, 10 p.m. on HBO.
I'm in a bad position to judge that. I mean, I'm not objectively objective about it. I do think it's fair to say that people will see a side of Derek that he has rarely shown before. I think that's fair.
Bryant, the partial transcript HBO put out of the interview made the interview sound very contentious. Was it?
I don't know about contentious. I mean, it was two people who had contrasting points of view and were being direct and forthright about it. Yes, I saw where people made a big deal out of the fact that at one point he said, "You're mentally weak." It was not thrown as an insult. It was said jokingly. I think the questioning was direct. I think the questions were fair. I think they were pointed, and I think we held his feet to the fire to try to get answers.
Bryant, hard to take him seriously when he claims he's not tanking, isn't it?
It certainly. If he's not tanking, it's a real good impression of it, don't you think?
I mean, it seems obvious.
Yes.
It seems like the most obvious thing in the world. I understand they're trying to clean up their budget, and I understand that he thinks he's trying to win every time he's out there, but the concession that it's a inferior AAA coupon-clipped product can't be disputed, can it?
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I just wish I had defined tanking better. I thought about it later, and it probably could better be defined as prioritizing long-term success over short-term wins.
Right, because he spun that on you. Like, it goes without saying, the team that he's putting out there is trying to win baseball games.
Yeah, but
they're just not good enough.
No, but
right?
he's hiding in the semantics, though.
That's what I'm saying,
This is a business move that's being framed as a baseball move. They are paring it down to clean up their business, and they're putting a minor league product on the field.
Well, it can be both, though, can't it? Can it be both a business move and a baseball move?
That's the way you get away with dirty business, is by always claiming we have a chance because it's baseball.
I absolutely agree with you. I mean, this year we saw half the teams in the NBA basically tanking. And it's unfortunate that people look at recent history in baseball, the last two champions, and say, my God, it works.
Again, yes, that was the commissioner's argument, that it works sometimes, but that's baseball. That's not how you run the product. But Bryant Gumbel, his interview with Derek Jeter airs tonight. Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel, 10 p.m. on HBO.
Bryant, Marlins fans listening to the interview tonight, how are they going to come away from this? Are they going to be encouraged by what Jeter said, or are they going to be shaking their heads, do you think?
I guess it depends on how much you like Derek Jeter. Look, I'm not telling you guys anything. I mean, Marlins fans have been screwed over for so long that he's asking for patience from a group that's not willing to give it. But I think they're faced with the reality that what they've been doing in the past hasn't worked. Are they willing to wait another 4 years, 3 years, 5 years to see it work? If that's the case, then they should be optimistic. If not, if they think this is more of the same, then they should be very pissed off.
Can you tell us the places where you thought his feet were being held to the fire and that the answers were uncomfortable, or he had to sort of slip around you?
Oh, I think his answers were uncomfortable throughout. I mean, I really do. I mean, from the very beginning when I said you've been charged with everything from, firing beloved people to tanking, to not having enough money, et cetera, et cetera. And to his credit, and I'll give Derek credit for this, he didn't run away from them. Now, he may have used semantics to work around them. I do think all interviews are a bit of a dance, and he has learned how to dance. Do I wish he'd have come clean and admitted some things? Sure, I do. But as you guys well know, that's we always don't get what we want in this business.
What do you have to say about the money, Bryant?
He says that they have deep pockets. I'm not privy to that kind of information. I don't think there's any secret to the fact that if you get rid of the people he got rid of, you get rid of Yelich and Stanton and Gordon and everybody else, you're gonna save money. I think the question is whether that money is put back into the product or put into the pockets of the owners. In addition to what they're going to save, as you guys well know, they're going to get about $50 million within the next year as a result of baseball's sell-off of their digital platform. And so it remains to be seen whether that money, too, is turned back into the franchise or whether it winds up in the pockets of the Bruce Sherman Group.
When you said that people will see a side of Jeter they haven't seen in this interview, he has done an excellent job of creating the mythology around him, where 20 years he hasn't had a bad public moment. Is he going to have one tonight? That's kind of up to the public to determine. I never go into something trying to make someone look bad. I really don't. I'm more interested in trying to find out the truth, and I always tell people my only role there is to try to get people to justify or clarify things.